Hi, welcome back to COM 1160. This is week 3, video number 1. Week 3, we're going to be talking about the famous APA style. And this is just our part 1. We're going to take it slow and go over all of the questions related to APA style. If you've already studied APA style before, some of this may be a review. But I will let you know that APA recently changed its rules. It's gone from what they call the 6th edition through to the 7th edition. So even if you've studied APA before, some of these rules may be new to you. Let's talk about what APA style is. Okay. You'll hear it mentioned all the time. Professors will say, do an assignment in APA style. What does that actually mean? APA style simply refers to the way that documents, so say, for example, essays, assignments, scholarly papers, whatever it is that you're working on, are formatted. Okay, that's all it is. So it's a set of rules that are very similar to the kind of ideas of the rules of the road, in that everybody follows the same format and rules for consistency. So every nurse, every dental assistant, every personal support worker formats their papers exactly the same way. And you're going to be using this not only as a student, but also later on in your career. So it's a bibliographic format. It identifies different rules that you have to follow for formatting and different rules that you have to follow for the way that you show that you've used information. It covers all sorts of things through from the way you set up a paper in Word through to how to show that you've used some research material. And we're going to cover all of this over the next 2 weeks. I am going to warn you, it's not the world's most interesting stuff in the world for most people. I'm a bit of an APA nerd. I find it interesting. But you may need a big cup of coffee or something to be able to get through this information. It's a little dry, but I promise you, if you pay really close attention and you get very comfortable with APA, it's going to pay off. So when do you use APA style? On all healthcare papers and assignments, unless your professor states otherwise. And professionally, so later on when you've graduated and you're working in the field, whenever you're writing material that integrates research, you're going to be using APA style. At Niagara College, your professors are going to expect you to know and use APA. So not only just in comm class, but across all the classes that you're taking, whenever you're using research and you're writing, you're going to be using this APA style. Learning APA. Like I mentioned before, APA is not the most interesting topic in the world, but it can also be very, very frustrating, especially if you're brand new to using this system. But exactly like driving and following the rules of the road, with practice, you'll find that you're able to use it easily. So I want you to think back to when you first started to drive a car or you first started to drive a bicycle. Initially, it seems really overwhelming, right? You're not sure what to look at. You're not sure what to do. You don't know what any of the signs mean. But very, very quickly, with a bit of practice, you're able to drive quite easily. And in fact, if you've driven for more than a couple of years now, you probably don't even need to think anymore when you're driving. You just automatically follow the rules of the road. When you see a red light, you stop. When you see a green light, you go. APA is exactly the same type of thing. So when you're first starting to use it, you got to pay very, very careful attention to every little detail. But eventually your brain kind of learns it and it starts doing it automatically. It really doesn't take any kind of brain power. APA is all about just following patterns. So if you can follow a recipe to bake a cake, or you can follow any type of rules that have been set out, with a bit of practice, you'll have no problem with APA. Like I mentioned before, some people in our class may have had some experience with APA, but for some, this may be completely new. And if it's completely new to you, remember it will be frustrating and confusing at the beginning, but keep at it. It is very, very necessary. You're going to have to use it in all of your classes, and it does get easier with practice. Each time you use it, it gets a bit easier. We're going to spend the next 2 weeks looking at APA, so week number 3 and week number 4. And in today's videos, we're going to focus just on 2 things. We're going to start slow. We're going to look at formatting in Word and the references page. Next week, we're going to look at what they call the APA in-text citations and how to do those. Okay, here are the formatting rules, and the rules are very, very specific. When you're doing a paper in APA format, you have to have something up at the top called a running head. And a running head is simply the short version of the title of your paper or assignment. And it needs to be fewer than 25 characters long, including spaces. You also have to have page numbers in APA, and those have to appear in the upper right corner. The essay title appears at the top of the first page of text, in addition to the title page. You're only allowed to use double spacing throughout the text, and you can only use Times New Roman or Arial font in a 12 point. You also have to set your margins to exactly 2.54 centimeters. Want a present? I think you probably do want a present. Those formatting rules that I was talking about are very, very specific, and they're actually a pain to be able to follow and to set up in Word. So I've actually made a present for you. If you look in the week 3 folder, you'll see a file in Word called APA pre-formatted paper. If you open up the APA pre-formatted paper, you'll see an APA template in there that I've created for you to use. The template is very simple to use. We're going to go over how to use it in our next video, but it's yours to keep. Okay, so go into course documents, go into week number 3, open up your template in Word, and save a copy to your hard drive so that you can use it for all of your work. In our next video, we're going to look at how to modify the template, and we're going to take a look at the rules a little more closely. It also might be useful to print out a paper copy of the template so that in the next video, you can make notations on it just with pen or pencil as we go through the material in the template. Enjoy your gift. Remember, save a copy to your hard drive so that you always have the template. And in our next video, we'll actually get started with using the template.